Hey guys, welcome back to Solo Leveling Arise. In today's video, I wanted to look at maxing out your power, especially as a free-to-play player, as you're progressing through the campaign and trying to clear everything. Now, one thing I want to mention is, if you are not struggling to clear stuff and you're progressing through campaign fine, then you don't need to invest into some of these things because you can save your resources. This is for if you're getting stuck and you need to power up. Now, back in the Canadian launch, they had this stupid system where if you were if your team power was below the power of the stage, the recommended power, you'd get absolutely crippled. I do believe that is gone. I remember in Canada launch, I struggled on Egress for about 5 hours with level 60 weapons and everything upgraded, my gear upgraded. And on this account, I had level 20 weapons. I had nothing upgraded, no gear upgraded, and I just went in and easy clapped him. So I do believe they have removed that. I've done a bit of crit testing as well, and I've asked others to check, but I will update you guys on that if that is a wrong take. But essentially, I don't think power level is your most important thing. Leveling your power efficiently so that you can do everything you need to do to get to the end game is the most important thing. And then I will revise this video at the end game talking about, maximizing your power in terms of getting the most damage out of the characters you have. So that is the first thing I wanted to get out of the way. Now, when we look at maxing out your power, a very important thing is Jin W's level. That's tied into everything. That was my previous video on how to level up fast. So you can go check out that one. It's like a whole progression video on maximizing Jin W experience. This one is more around every other aspect of your team and powering it up once again efficiently, because as a free-to-play player especially, your gold and other resources are super scarce and you can't just be leveling everything up willy-nilly. So let's do Jin W first, and then we'll do our team of hunters next. Now, the first thing to note is your stat points. Don't stress too much about these early on. Don't be resetting these all the time. Mine, when you start the game, you get a default 10, 10, 10. And I haven't even reset mine because it's 27,000 gold. And once again, I am having no issues progressing through, so I don't see the need to redo this. I did put a bunch of points into crit just for some crit testing. There is a crit cap. Basically, you want to get to 50 crit without using any of this. You want to get it all through your gear in the end game. But in progression, you can see I'm only at, where's my crit rate? 24. So it doesn't matter. You can have points early game, but you will change it later on. I think I've seen Painblade put up a video yesterday. I haven't watched it, but the dude is super knowledgeable, all about stat allocation. I'm pretty sure the general gist is, because massive shout out to the guys at the Lunar Guild who told me this in Canadian launch, unless it's changed, is that you want perception at around 80, and then basically you just put everything into attack and you're pretty much set to go from there. But that's not the biggest thing. Like I said, it's not worth keep resetting to try things because it's just too expensive on the gold front. The next thing with Jin W is your weapons. Now, your weapons, you have to be very scarce with your resources. Ideally, you have a decent SSR weapon that you want to level up. These three up the top here, in my opinion, are the best SSR weapons in the game. Luckily, I got them. Now, you're only really, as free-to-play, going to be leveling up 2 weapons past level 20. Maybe you could have a third one to level 40, but there ain't no way you're getting 3 of them to level 60 early on in the game. You just do not have the resources, especially when you have to level up hunter weapons as well, which I'll go through in a minute. But essentially, just level up to only focus on 2 weapons. Now, the other thing is, maybe you haven't pulled one yet. If you've pulled a bunch of hunters, but you haven't pulled yourself any good weapons, then change your wish list to just be the main weapons. Now, there's 3 weapons that I would primarily put on my wish list, which are these ones here. Like I said, they are the 3 best. So if you've got a decent roster of hunters, but you're lacking Jin W weapons, this is the kind of thing I would change my wish list to, just to go ahead and get at least 1 solid weapon that you can use on your account. Now, and also you can just keep going back to the campaign stage, clearing those extra trophies to get the extra 2 summons from max stars, and you can keep summoning. You do get a lot of free summons in this game. Now, the next thing I wanted to look at, once again, talking about weapons, is why you're only raising 2 is because of the scarce resources. And when we look at also on this account, for instance, if we go to our hunters, you can see I've got the char weapon as well. And if I go here to level this up, and I go auto select, I can only get this to level 34. I'm already out of resources on this one. So just keep that in mind. Resources are very scarce. You don't want to be leveling up willy-nilly. The only reason I've leveled up some of these other ones was for the whatchamacallit, the missions or the challenges, whatever they actually call it here. Yeah, the challenges. When a challenge tells me to level up weapons, that is when I level up weapons. A lot of these things that I've upgraded is only been because of the challenges that they want me to do. Now, for weapons as well, once again, if you don't have any of the SSR weapons or anything anything like that. The two main SR weapons that I can recommend putting some investment into are the West Wind, probably the best damage dealing one, and it's just a really good wind damage dealing option anyway, when considering that the SSR wind weapon is actually is more of a tanky type weapon, not a damage output focused one. The other one is the longbow. The longbow is really helpful for campaign because a lot of enemies are weak to light, so this one's really nice as well. If you want to go ahead and level that one up, it's fairly safe. And the orb is also okay because it's kind of like your best fire option, but I do think eventually this will get power crept, so I kind of want to avoid this. But once again, those are some options for weapons to invest in. Try not to invest in too many weapons in general, but they are going to give you some nice power, but once again, with scarce resources. The next thing I want to talk about is skills. Now, skills are an interesting one. We'll talk about Jin W first because we have different currency for upgrading skills for Jin W versus upgrading hunters. Now, with Jin W, my priority is this ultimate. I don't upgrade this ultimate because as soon as you unlock this one's just basically the same thing with more damage. So you're pretty much looking at mutilate for that one. I then upgrade this as my always upgrade one because Shadow Step is something you use in every battle and every boss fight, which is fantastic. Some bosses you can't knock up and stuff, so you can't use these ones, but these are still things that you bring into every fight, so I upgrade those pretty freely as well. Now, as we go on past that, the other ones that I level up, these two that I've got equipped here are my favorite breaking skills. This one has, especially when you get the water one, you can see it does medium break and then also deals weak break every 3 seconds for 9 seconds, which is really handy. And then this one here does heavy break. So against bosses that can be broken, those are the two skills that I bring into combat. Whereas you have other skills like these two that you can bring in and you can mix it around if the bosses can't be broken. So you can see here, these are the ones I've prioritized leveling up at the start. I haven't put too many levels in because, you know, resources are scarce, but those are the two I have leveled up. Now, the other thing with leveling up skills you can do is sometimes in your bag you will get, I don't have any at the moment, chests where you can get runes, or if you don't get runes from them, you can get this material which you can use to fuse these epic the runes. Now, you've only got a 2% chance at an epic rune, but you can fuse. It does cost 20,000 gold, which is a bit annoying. Everything costs gold, and as you can see, I just got a standard rune. But the thing is, when you get the rune, it also gives a skill up to that skill. So getting runes will also skill up your Jin Wu's skills, which is really nice. So like I said, I focus on these ones down the bottom here, and then I just put a couple points in the ones that I like in the early stages over there. Now, the final thing with Jin W is going to be his artifacts. Now, artifacts do give you a ton of power if you upgrade them. However, I generally avoid it. I've only upgraded artifacts basically, once again, for the challenges. If I didn't have to, I wouldn't, because it is a massive gold sink and it's not worth, even though it does power up your account, it's not worth the cost of gold that it takes to go ahead and do so. So if we look here in challenges, you can see I got to reach artifact enhancement tier 10 4 times, and that is one of my missions. So I want to show you basically, so my battle tier power over here is at 70,911. If I go to Jin W here, and because I'm going to have to do this, now I would typically probably do this on a lower level one, because the higher level, the higher the gold cost. And like I said, gold is absolutely ridiculous in this game. So if we go enhance here, you can see me trying to, the next stage from 5 to 6 is 1,600. This one here, if I go enhance, it's 640. So the higher grade ones do give you more power, but they are much more expensive. So just keep that in mind. But I just want to show you guys a gauge for the power increase that you can get. And keep in mind, that's per attempt. If you're failing, it's burning that. So look at my gold get absolutely destroyed there. Dude, we actually got pretty lucky on that. But there we go. So that is that one upgraded to level 10. Like I said, gold becomes a massive crunch. And we went from, what was it, 70,900, was it? And 11 to 72. I can't remember where we were at, but it's a big power increase in general when you do that. So we're at 72,096. Let's just go do the other one for shits and gigs to show you guys this one. What did I say? 70,096. So let's go enhance this one. Once again, I'd probably be doing, wait, we need to get to 10 on this. Look at my gold go down. Look at it. Look at it burn. Look at it burn. Look at it burn. It's like 20,000 gold just burnt right there. But just to show you guys and demonstrate this once again, we can go to battle tier now. And we set, what did I say, 70,096 to 72,829. So it does give you a bunch of power, but once again, you're going to scrap that gear eventually when you get to endgame gear. Sorry, I'm just clicking on red dots now. You're going to scrap that gear when you get to endgame gear, so I don't highly recommend upgrading artifacts. And I honestly, for achievements, will probably just stick to upgrading lower ones so I can save the gold as much as possible. So moving on from that pretty much sums up everything there is to do with Jin. Dude, how do I the menus in this game? Sometimes it trips me out with where they're going. I just want to go to Jin W homepage. There it is. So that pretty much sums up Jin W in general. I'm not even going to talk about blessing stones because I'm still only unlocked one. It's a bit of a later on thing. The one last thing kind of tied into Jin W is your Shadow Army. I'll do a whole Shadow Army video. As you can see here, I can go ahead and level up. You will level it up over time and get these extra effects, and then you will also generate a currency that you can use to unlock them. The other thing you can do with that currency is upgrade them, but I prefer unlocking my different shadows before I go ahead and upgrade any of them, because getting the extra shadows brings them into combat. You get the extra effects and stuff like that. So that is what I focus on, but once again, that's just a quick touch on Shadow Army. I'll do a whole video talking about Shadow Army in the future. Next is the Hunters. Hunters are the next thing in your account power. Now with Hunters, once again, gold cost, leveling up, it's always a prick in this game. So as you can see, I've got 2 hunters at level 38, 1 at level 20. I had her 17 early on for the challenges, but that's it. And basically, I'm only leveling Dongso up for the challenges when I need to do that. I am hoping I can get another hunter that I will make part of my core team. I'm really happy with Cha. I'm really happy with Baigu, whatever his name is. I'm really happy with these two. But I want another 3rd unit, and I'm not leveling any other units unless I have to for the challenges, because especially as free to play, that gold starts to disappear super quick once again, and you won't be able to level like 4, 5, 6 characters up. So you got to kind of pick the ones you want. So if you have some that you're not keen on, just try and keep them low level, and then hopefully summon another character, and away you go. That's my strategy anyway. The game gives you so many standard banner pools that you can get some good hunters from. So that is what I would be looking towards. Now the next thing we have is skills once again in these guys. As you can see, I did this as a little experiment to gain power. I just put all this guy's skills up to level 2, just give myself a power boost and test it out. You don't really have to do this. That was me experimenting. But if you see here, when I go to my main unit, in this one it's Cha. I got her at 1 dupe. I've got her weapon. She is my main damage dealing unit in hunter stages at the moment. So I have gone a high investment on her. You can see I've got her ult to 3. I've got this skill to 5, because if you proc it, you can just start spamming this skill and keep getting that damage out. So she is the one I've gone deeper on the investment, because she is my main hunter, and that's the way I like to focus on skills. Normally you're going to have 1 main hunter, 1 support hunter, and then like 1 other option DPS hunter. But especially if it's like Char or something and you're going to get her weapon through the event, she's probably going to be the one you want to focus on the most. Then once again, we go into artifacts. You can see I got a couple leveled up that I did for missions, but besides that, I just slapped sets on. Try and find sets and stats that work. Don't stress too much about it. Just slap them on, get as much power as you can. But once again, I wouldn't be upgrading these things because it is such a gold sink and it will just hurt you later on. And that is everything to do with hunters. That's everything to do with Jin W. Once again, I will update you guys to these menus. I just have no idea. I will update you guys if anything changes. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they removed the crippling feature for being lower power than your enemy team. So a lot of the cheese things you do, like upgrading gear to increase your raw power, you don't have to do anymore. You can just make things efficient and not stress that, oh, my number is lower than that number, so the game's going to cripple me, so I can't do it. I hate those systems, so I'm glad that I believe that's gone. If that does change, I will update you guys. But that is it for increasing your power, especially as free to play. I'm going to keep grinding. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.